Welcome to another episode of the show called One Step. Let's talk about the journey. I'm your host, Joel Bennett, and today I am thrilled to have an exciting conversation with Jennifer Otieno, author, educator, innovator, among other things. Today we are diving into a truly unique and innovative approach to teaching financial literacy to children. Our theme is Bloom a Bean, Seed and Blossom Your Money Smart, a fantastic program that uses the power of gardening as a metaphor for growing financial wisdom. Just like planting a seed and watching it blossom, this program is designed to help children learn the basics of money in a fun, hands-on way, empowering them to make smart financial choices as they grow. So whether you are a parent, educator, or someone passionate about financial literacy, this episode will be packed with insights on how to make learning about money both engaging and meaningful for the younger generation. Let's explore how Bloom a Bean program is sowing the seeds for money smart kids. Stay tuned.
Hello, my name is Fiona from the Bloom a Bean team. You are welcome to watch this informative video if you struggle with teaching your kids about money in a fun and effective way. At Bloom a Bean, we believe financial education should be engaging and relatable. Our program is designed for ages 3 to 6, 7 to 12, and 13 to 21 separately. For younger kids, Bloom a Bean combines the joy of simple gardening with age-appropriate financial lessons. The exercise could be as simple as planting 2 beans in a pot at home and learning relevant money lessons as the child nurtures the beans to maturity. For older teens and young adults, the bean metaphor has a way of working magic still. Created by Jennifer, who has the experience to match, the Bloom a Bean approach is a well-thought-out concept that places you solidly in good hands. Jennifer is herself a mother who has raised 4 children to adulthood and a dedicated educator who has taught at different levels for most of her life. As a nursing instructor, she taught pediatrics and family nursing for over a decade, during which she became very familiar with fun ways in which children learn, grow, and develop. Not only does Jennifer believe in financial education as an essential part of holistic health, but she has also become a passionate advocate for financial well-being for families. As such, Jennifer created Bloom a Bean to equip families with the tools they need to effect functional financial literacy. By planting, nurturing, and harvesting beans, children learn essential financial concepts like budgeting, saving, patience, focus, and responsible spending.
Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you so much, Joel, for having me. My name is Jennifer Otieno, and I'm just excited to be here today because I'm so passionate about this program.
You know, even on my travels, because I travel for work, not sure I should be putting that out there, but this is all I've been thinking about in terms of the program itself, the idea that you have come up with. And I guess I was somewhat a bit anxious and couldn't wait to just get into it. So before we get into who Jennifer is and the details to our discussion, I like to throw out icebreakers to my guests just to set the mood. Like I said, everybody loves my icebreaker. I do believe so. So the one that I have for you, Jennifer, is to kick things off, I'd like to know, when you were a child, what was your first experience with money? Whether it was earning an allowance, saving up for something special, or maybe even planting your own financial seed. What do you remember most about that moment.
There are two experiences, and there is one of them that actually led to Bloom a Bean. And I'll talk about the first one first. I was around 6 to 7 years of age, and I made table mats. And people came over for Christmas, and they really liked the table mats. And one of them asked my mom, "Where did you buy this?" And my mom said, she just pointed to me. And from there on, people started ordering them. And I realized the sweetness of money because I was able to make what I loved doing, and people were buying them and giving me money. And I would buy candy with it and other stuff that kids would do. So that was my first experience with money. My next experience with money was when we were thrown from out of deportation. We used to live in Uganda, and my parents were deported at the time. They left all the wealth that they had accumulated there, and we came back to Kenya. And while we were in Kenya, we had gone from riches to poverty. And so one time I remember I was waiting for my mom to come back from the market with something nice for us to eat that evening. She took the whole day, and when she came back with dry beans. And I was thinking to myself, now it's going to take so long to cook these beans. By the time they're ready, I will be so hungry still. But then she said, "We are not cooking the beans. We are planting them." From there on, I learned the power of delayed gratification. In between, we had to nurture those beans until the time of harvest. And when we harvested them, they were 1,500% yield from the few beans that we planted. Of course, that night we had to go to bed hungry, but we did not die.
What age was that, Jennifer?
I would have been around maybe somewhere between 6 and 8. I believe it was 8.
Very young.
Around 8, yeah.
So, I mean, that was one of the seed thought process that came into the whole idea.
Yes.
So if I should ask you, what inspired you to create, you know what? I don't want to jump the gun here. Let me stick a pin here. For our listeners, tell them who, we want to know who Jennifer Otieno is, first of all. Let's just get the foundation right first.
Okay. I am a mother of 4 children, 3 boys and 1 girl.
Awesome.
They're all adults now. My youngest is actually in his second year of university. I also have a special needs son.
Okay.
And then I have a daughter, and I have the other son as well. So I have raised them to adulthood. I have also taught them about money along the way so that they can be able to be stable in their own lives. I'm also an instructor. I've been teaching nursing for the past probably 15, 17 years. And my area of specialization while I was teaching was in pediatrics.
Okay.
So I came to learn fun, engaging ways to actually get children to learn certain things.
Yes.
So combining that with my entrepreneurship, since the age 7 when I first sold my table mats, I have always had something on the side, some hustle, whether or not I'm working. So I've always had that, and I've taught that along the way. So that's who I am. I've been an instructor. I'm also an author. Inside my book, which was published in 2019, it's called The Try Wisdom Effect. I talk about the bean story. So I just extrapolated it from there and created the Bloom a Bean program.
So the Bloom a Bean started from the first book that you wrote?
No, the book has a story in it about the bean that I just described earlier. Okay. So I just took out that chapter and I was thinking about it, and I thought, as I was teaching, I've just mentioned that I'm an instructor.
Yes.
I've been teaching nursing. I'm a registered nurse, and I've been teaching nursing for a long time. Because my area of specialization was pediatrics, and also because I'm looking at holistic health for both my students and anybody else that I deal with, including my own children, I was looking at financial well-being as part of the holistic health. So there's social well-being, mental health, physical health, all of that stuff. but financial is also a part of it. That people generally at home, some of my students would come up, and whenever we talk about holistic health, sometimes when you talk about financial health, you can see that they are shying away. They don't want to talk about it. And I realized right there that a lot of people have a poor relationship with money.
That's very true.
They don't have a healthy relationship with money. And that's part of the inspiration for Bloom a Bean.
Okay, I'm going to get you to talk overall now, where the idea came from to create Bloom a Bean. Let's get into that a little bit more.
Yes. Okay. So one thing is my own experience growing up, and with the beans that we had to grow instead of eat. Because if we had eaten those seeds, my mom said, if you eat the seed, then you don't have anything to grow.
Yeah.
So the same thing. A lot of people work. They don't make them. They make a lot of money even. Yeah. And they may not be able to take good care of that money because they eat it right away. Yes. So it becomes a seed that has been eaten. They don't have more of it to be able to plant. So for me, talking to my students and seeing that they were really shy talking about money, some even had a hatred between themselves and the money that they were actually earning. It's like somebody else should take care of it. Yeah. So I thought I should be able to come in with something where children can start learning at a young age, so that they have a better relationship with money. And during that time, with that relationship, they can have confidence in being able to manage their own money. Okay. So coming from my own bean story that taught me about money, and then going forward and seeing how people are struggling with their relationship with money, I thought it's better to start at a young age. And because I know how to deal with the younger children all the way to age 21, from age 0 to age 21, which is what pediatrics entailed when I was teaching it, I thought that's a good place to start, so that when they become adults, they have already been doing money stuff.
And would you say, Jennifer, that the one of the core reasons why adults struggle financially, or when it comes to money, or there is this phobia, if I should use that term, do you think it's a childhood thing, you'd say?
I believe that a lot of things start in childhood, in formative ages, during growth and development. And so the exposure that somebody has and the reactions that people have around money is what the child picks up when they're growing up. If parents at home, for example, are always arguing about money, or they just really don't know how to deal with it, they make a lot but they can't keep it, or they can't make it work for them, then the child is going to pick up on that. So actually in Bloom a Bean, what we are doing is to empower these parents so that they themselves are able to actually cultivate a healthier relationship with money for their children as they teach them about money.
Very well said, Jennifer. So how does gardening relate to financial literacy? Let's get into it a bit.
So this is something that sets us apart. There are many programs out here that teach about money, right? For me, what I wanted to do is to look at health, holistic health, as I had mentioned earlier. So with gardening, I'm using a bean because that's what I experienced. And also, it can give a long enough time for parents to be able to, as the child takes responsibility for the plant, the parent can cultivate certain attitudes in that child around growing the bean, because a lot of what goes on in seeding, nurturing that seed, growing the plant, making sure that you are putting it in sunlight, watering it, fertilizing it. If there is a weed, you are taking out the weed. That is the same as managing money, because you've got to have that seed in the beginning. Depends on how you got it, but you have the seed of money. And with that seed, you can nurture it, grow it. Things will happen along the way, such as weeds with the plant. There might be unexpected expenses, for example, or just something happens that requires a lot of money that you didn't prepare for. How do you deal with it? It's the same way as seeing that weed inside your bean plant, the box or whatever, the plant, pot wherever you have planted it and pulling out the weed. Same, you can pull out weeds in financial life.
You know what I also see in that, Jennifer? There's a patience factor that we as human beings struggle with so much. So the patience to cultivate that seed, to nurture it, I believe it's a golden quality we don't have as adults. Not all of us, maybe some of us. Patience. Did you factor that into as well?
That is one of the main things that we are teaching children. We are in the microwave generation. Everything it turns up immediately. You put it in, you expect that you'll get the results. That's why you hear all of these get rich quick schemes. Some of them work, some don't. A lot don't. Because then you have not built the foundation of that patience, delayed gratification, and the knowledge that you need to be able to get to a place where you've really taken good care of that money and you know how to, and you have a good relationship with it.
I mean, it's no different from investing for the long term.
Yes, and there are some short-term investments and long-term investments, but there is always a longer view to take into consideration.
For sure.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes,
Can you explain the specific parallels between gardening and financial literacy?
I think I did some of that already, but I'm going to go over it again. So, suppose we had eaten the seeds, the bean seeds that my mom had brought home. We would have had nothing to plant. If you eat the seed, which is your initial money that you have, you spend it all on buying, let's say, stuff that you want. Sometimes it's just a want, not a need, but you've spent it. You have nothing to plant. You have nothing to seed. You have nothing to invest. Okay, so that is a parallel there with eating the seed or eating the seed of money. Eating the seed of a plant or eating the seed of money. Then as you nurture it, it takes patience, because you know you're not growing it today and you can harvest it tomorrow. It's going to take a few months, maybe 2 months, sometimes 3 months, depending on what kind of plant you are putting out there. Same with money. There are some short-term investments, there are some mid-term investments, and some long-term with a long view investment. And so with the plant, whichever plant you are planting, you are going to be nurturing it. With your money, when you seed it out there or when you invest it, you don't just turn your back on it. You still need to know, how is it doing? Do I need to kind of change something, tweak something a little bit so that my money is working better for me? Then there is harvesting. When you harvest the beans, we were taught at that time to celebrate, and with Bloom a Bean, we are going to be celebrating our achievements as well. So when you do make money, it's okay to actually stop once in a while, buy yourself that thing you've been wanting, and celebrate.
I love it.
And just in case there is those weeds or anything else comes up or the plant dies, very much like losing an investment completely, then Bloom a Bean teaches you how to be resilient, how to rise again and start again, and still make it work.
I like it. I'm trying to navigate. I'm trying to cultivate my childhood brain just to get wrapped up, get into it, because it is. Let me not get ahead of myself. Okay, so a perfect pivot point. Let's talk about Bloom a Bean program itself. What can parents and educators expect?
Did you know financial literacy starts at home? And do you want to set your teen up for financial success? Then keep watching. Financial literacy is a superpower, and it all starts at home. Bloom a Bean has created workbooks for this very purpose. The 3 workbooks each comes aligned with an excellent parental guide to help you navigate this journey. For ages 3 to 6, it's all about fun and basics, of saving, of spending those precious pennies wisely, and sharing. Simple activities make learning effortless and fun. And as they grow to ages 7 to 12, they will learn about budgeting and goal setting. Practical games and open discussions make these concepts stick for this age group. And for those teenagers and young adults ages 13 to 21, dive into credit, investing, and setting long-term financial goals. Equip them to avoid unnecessary debt and to make smart career choices. With Bloom a Bean, you've got the needed roadmap to elevate your game and be your child's best guide. Empower your child to master money management. Be his or her initial champion in setting them up on the path to success. Start today and give them the skills for a prosperous future. Let's do this. Let's create a legacy to be proud of. For more info, visit our upcoming website at www.bloomabean.com or email us at bloomabean@gmail.com.
So what we've done, first of all, is parents will be, we will educate the parents. We do have workbooks. The team has created workbooks for children ages 3 to 6, 7 to 12, and 13 to 21.
Okay.
Alongside each of those workbooks, there is a guide for the parents.
Okay.
So those guides actually empower parents and equip them with the tools and resources necessary to be able to make the actual learning or teaching for their children to be fun, engaging, and very, very relatable for the child. During that time, the child will actually be bonding with the parent because the plant takes a long time to grow, right?
Yeah.
And the parent might be pointing to the child, okay, did you water it? If they forgot to water it.
Yeah.
So during this time, the child is responsible for that plant. And they feel they grow, they learn what responsibility really means because it's up to them to make that plant grow.
Sure.
Yeah. So
You mentioned that there are different age groups.
yes.
Can you describe how each age group bracket, where the program is concerned, how is it designed? Because there's a 3 to 6.
Yes. So I divided them that way because of the growth and developmental milestones that the children achieve at various ages.
Okay.
So that comes from my knowledge of pediatrics and education.
Yeah.
Okay. So for the first group, the first guide or the first workshop, it's mostly about fun and just getting a relationship with money, play pretend. Let's say we are going to shop. How much do we spend? Or can we maybe sell this doll? How much is it going to cost? So you're playing with all of that, but the child is internalizing the relationship that they should have with money. It's introducing them to it, and they see how it should be used. And within the workbooks, we have a lot of, like rhymes, quotes, songs, stuff like that, like fun things to do. And parents have the ability to actually choose what they want to use and what doesn't apply to them.
Yeah.
The second group is 7 to 12. Those are usually in elementary school.
Yes.
So there is a lot that different ages within that age bracket are ready to actually learn, and how they learn is different from age group to age group within that. So the workbook is actually designed to cater for their cognitive development at that time and what they are able to learn and how best they can learn it.
Okay.
Then for the teenagers, the 13 to 21 years of age.
I'm in that bracket.
Yeah, that you're in that bracket. Okay, so I can see you want to bloom a bean.
There you go.
I get it. Most people actually hearing this, it's like they're so excited.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's something dry in here.
Of course.
Yeah. So anyway, that age group, they are teenagers. So we approach them from the standpoint of somebody who is looking for liberation from the parents.
That's right.
Okay? But then the parent is still in the picture. They have a guide on how to best help this child who is going through the stages of, emancipation. They don't want to be, the most important person at that age, especially the younger ones of that age group, they want to be seen by their friends a certain way, right? So parents need to be able to approach them with that in mind. So with Bloom a Bean, what we have done with that age group is actually to give parents the tools and the information about what this child could be doing and how that is actually not necessarily wrong. It's just a stage of growth and development. But they still can help this child to learn and relate with money in such a way that the child can be empowered to gain that confidence that they need to be able to make sound decisions for their money.
Man, it sounds like so much fun when you really get into it.
Yes, when you get into it. That's why I'm so excited now. Talking about it, I find myself...
I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Just thinking about it. Okay, can we talk? Well, I think you just touched on that because I guess I wanted to put a little bit more emphasis on the age group, but you just divide and dissect that. What are the benefits overall of Bloomer Bean for children?
So actually benefits are not only for children. Let's talk about families in general.
Yes.
Because and the way our mission really, we are not teaching children directly. We are empowering parents to be able to teach their children in the most effective way because they have the children with them all the time.
That's true.
So so the benefits to the children is that they will have a fun way that is engaging, that is relatable, that they can actually also even themselves tweak and make a little bit different as they grow the bean. They will be taking care of it, so they will be learning responsibility. They'll be learning how to be patient, how to have delayed gratification. These are the parallels you draw with the money, right? So they will be learning a lot of things as they grow and nurture and then ultimately harvest this bean. Okay, or the beans. I keep saying bean because it's one that I'm talking about, but they will be able to grow as many as they want.
Okay.
Usually I would advise parents to have them just grow a few in a pot or in 2 pots and then be able to nurture them and see how they grow.
So it's not specifically designated to having a big garden. You don't need to have.
You don't have to have a big garden.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. However, that can come in later on when I talk about other stakeholders.
Yes.
Like let's say community gardens. Like I know there's somebody who really wants to introduce it to their community garden.
Yes.
And they're seeing it as a way to be able to entice the children to actually come in and be able to be a part of the community in growing beans that will be theirs, and then going all the way to harvesting as those parents or those educators or those community members teach them about Bloomer Bean.
Okay.
But I'm going to go back to the benefits to the child and to the family. So the family will actually bond over this bean because it's going to take them, let's say, 2-3 months to have the bean all the way to the stage of harvesting. During this time, the child is responsible, but the parent is in the background guiding the child, supervising and making sure that the child is learning what they need to do to learn at each stage of the development of that being. So that child is learning in a fun way. They're getting to have a better relationship with money. They're gaining the confidence they need. But together with the parent, they're actually bonding over the bean, over that period that they are growing that bean. I'm also envisioning mom and dad taking turns to navigate the whole process so they both can on an individual level, because I'm looking at the bigger picture now. You've just put that in my head. They can both take turns to navigate this journey with their children and also have build a significant relationship at the same time. True. One of the ladies that is very, very interested in doing the Bloomer Bean program, they said they are going to compete. So the dad will be with the daughter, growing their own, and the mom will be with the son, growing their own, and they will compete to see who grows the best beans.
See what I'm saying?
There you go.
You can get really creative with this game.
Get creative,
on so many different levels. I absolutely love it. Okay, I know you have talked about this, but I want to just put a little bit more emphasis and get that from you. That is, how can parents and educators use Bloomer Bean to teach financial literacy? I know you've talked about this a little bit, but can you expand on that a bit more?
For the parents, they do have guides. We'll give them resources. We will have some videos actually that the parents can use to show to the children that teach about the various lessons. Okay, so as soon as it's necessary to introduce that lesson, they will be able to utilize the guide to actually guide them to be able to most effectively teach the child,
Okay.
or guide the child is what I want to call it,
Okay.
or coach the child.
Yes.
Yeah. So it should not look like something educational that is very like formal and so on. It's supposed to be fun and engaging, and the children should be feeling like they actually want to come back and do this thing and make it happen for themselves. And if they're competing with a neighbor, then they will want theirs to be the best, right?
Yeah. Cousins, aunts, different family members. This thing can go. This can go so many different ways.
It can, and for the schools, I am hoping that we will be able to partner with some schools. There is a school that has already asked us about it, but we have created a very, we have a rough draft of a curriculum and how it would look like, and we can see it fitting into their normal curriculum, where during the term the children will be able to grow their beans or whatever other plant. Actually, they can choose to do a different plant depending on how much time they have. So they could grow that plant all the way from the seed to harvesting the plant. It could even just be flowers. Why not? Okay, so they can grow that, and when it gets to the place where they're harvesting, they can even maybe do a show and tell or presentation or whatever. So it can be fun. It can all be fun, but during this whole time, the child knows they have to be patiently waiting, but they have to be nurturing the plant. And they could even work in groups. Let's say some 2-3 kids have a plant that they're growing, and another group has a different thing they're growing. So it's very easy to actually fit it into different situations.
I can't emphasize enough how patience build character, and I think that's all tied up in Bloom a Bean and the game itself. I'm looking forward. Okay, I know you mentioned some of the support that you give, but are there any other support that you offer to parents and educators apart from some of what you have just listed?
We will have workshops. These workshops will either be weekly or bi-weekly workshops where parents can actually come in, talk about the things that they're experiencing, or even ideas that they have that we didn't think about. This is going to be a community thing to elevate the whole community in ways that we really do learn about money in a fun way. So we will have workshops, we will have online resources, and now we've already talked about the workbooks for the children and then the guides for the parents.
I know you started a website.
Yes.
You wanna just tell us about the link to that before I even go any further?
It is bloomabean.com.
Bloomabean.com. That's all it is.
That's all it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
There are some testimonials that we have here. I want to go through them. Just a few. And if you want to comment on any, feel free to jump in.
Yes.
Testimonial addressing even concerns. Now, one person said that we've received Bloom a Bean's concept has transformed our family discussions and our family unity. I first read about it in Jennifer's book. And just emphasize the name of that book one more time, Jennifer.
So the book is called The Tri-Wisdom Effect. And this is just a chapter within the book where I talk about my story.
Working around the beans in a pot set us up for family and financial success. And this is, I'm not going to call this person's name because I'm not sure if that's just fine just yet. Another testimonial is me and my son bonded closely through caring for our beans. It's been a great way to teach him about money in a fun and engaging way. A satisfied parent. That's what this person identified themselves as. Another one here is, I wish I had come across this method of growing beans and money before. My grandkids are lucky to have me introducing Bloom a Bean to them. They can't wait to visit Grandma twice a week to tend to their beans and learn about money. The more fun it is, the more engaging it becomes for the children. So I see that being a big selling point when it comes to the program itself. Another one here says, as a teacher who has learned a lot from Jennifer, This must be one of your students. I can't wait to try Bloomer Bean in my classroom. It seems like a perfect way to integrate financial literacy into our curriculum. And this person identified as a dedicated educator. Let's get into one more here. When will you translate it to French? I teach in Quebec and we want to incorporate it into our curriculum. Hopeful teacher. Do you want to talk about this a little bit more in terms of the translation part?
So, we want this to be sustainable.
Yes.
And so we are going to start in Edmonton.
Yes.
I know I have had questions I will mention that a guy from Pakistan actually asked me whether I can translate it to Pakistani. I was like, okay, we are just starting at that time. And so that will happen. And so we will be able to translate it later on.
Yes.
But for now, we want to run it in English and do it in English for now. We are open to all other languages and cultures. Every culture, I believe, eats beans.
Oh, yeah. Who does?
So it's not like pork, where some other culture or religion might say, no, we don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
It is beans. And so we are open to it.
Yeah.
So maybe I should just say we are open to it.
Okay.
Give us suggestions on what you want to do with it, and we will go from there.
So guys, gents, people, we are looking for your feedback here. Whatever suggestions you have, put it in the comment section. Jennifer will get it and she will add that to the whole Inception idea that she has so far, which has roots. The bean story has roots. Sorry, I got to throw that one.
It has roots and it can be bloomed.
Yes.
And we can blossom, all of us, with it.
One more testimonial here. I see exactly how to entice the kids to join our community gardening. I can vividly see the smiles on their faces, the lightness of their feet, the joy in their hearts, and the pride they would carry as they harvest their very own product. I can envision how competitive the kids will be as they nurture their best beans, and how they could also be taught to collaborate in doing so. Person identifies as community gardener.
Yeah.
Do you have any? Do you want to add anything to?
Yes, I would like actually to add
Go
something
ahead,
to
Jen.
it.
Go ahead.
When we sat together to actually look as a team together to look at Bloomer Bean,
Yes.
we realized just how many people and stakeholders can benefit from it.
Yes.
So even though we have mentioned families, we've mentioned teachers in schools, we've also mentioned communities.
Yes.
Actually, the government wants children and other institutions like banks and so on. Once children have been growing in such a way that they have a good relationship with money and they have control over their own money, they are actually better investors. And we will have fewer and fewer people relying on governments because they've grown up knowing how to play the game of money.
Yeah.
So everybody can benefit from this, even those that are not directly participating.
I don't want to go off track too much, but I'll say this much. Money is one of the pillars when it comes to long-term relationships too. So I can see this just building better homes in general. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
I'm just gonna throw that out. Not gonna go any further because we want to stay on target. Want to stay and focus on just Bloomer Bean itself. Now, are there any potential challenges or concerns that parents might have about teaching financial literacy to their children?
Yes, we envision sometimes parents may be saying, oh, we don't have the time to be able to do this. But still, these parents are relating to their children on a daily basis. The bean does not require continuous care 24/7. It is maybe a daily thing. You might spend a few minutes just having a look, or maybe saying, move it here. The sun has moved to this direction at this time. The weather has changed a little bit. Let's do this. Let's do that. Okay, maybe that's too much water. We shouldn't put just simple things here and there. We don't make the bean grow. We nurture the bean and give it a good environment for it to grow. Okay, so parents might say they don't have the time, but actually all parents want to relate well with their children. So this is a thing that can bring them together. The other thing might be for the much younger children, the question might be, how will they learn about money at that age? It's too young. The child is too young at that age. No, actually research shows that simple concepts such as this that involve hands-on participation are much easier for children to grasp than theory.
Yes.
That is another question. And how about teenagers? Remember, I come from the background of, being able to know and teaching about how children learn.
Yeah.
And to me, in my pediatrics courses, I had all the way up to age 21.
Yeah.
So all the way up to there is different ways of approaching these children to be able to get them involved, especially if they can be at a place where it's coming from them, or it's coming from the peer group. Somebody else is doing it.
Yeah.
You hear all these teenagers talk about, I want to be a millionaire.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I want to make money fast. But we want to slow them down a little bit and tell them, actually, this is how it works. There is quick money, but even that quick money requires a good foundation to be able to keep the quick money. So this is still a good thing for all children. And even parents, some parents will be able to grasp a thing or two, to get a thing or two out of this.
I do believe so. I do believe so. So if this can be shared, Jennifer, can you tell us more about the cost of Bloomer Bean program and how parents can access it?
Okay, so just before I go to that,
yes,
I will just reiterate that our mission is to empower parents to be able to teach their children and foster a good relationship with money in their families. It will create bonds within the family, and as you mentioned, it can even help with the relationships.
Yes.
But our vision is actually to go to a place where every family, can you imagine a time when learning about money is as easy as reading and writing?
Oh my.
That's what our vision is, to reach everybody ultimately that has not had this information or has not had it in this way, to be able to use this tool and this approach to teach their children about money.
I do see where this can add so much value to family and children before they become adults in the long term. So there's a short-term vision and there's a long-term vision to Bloomer Bean itself.
True. So it becomes a part of them. Now to your question about what the value is.
Yes, the cost.
The cost
and how to access it.
Yeah. So the cost, we will be putting out information out on our website about how much each one of these costs, and it will be different for families, it will be different for schools, and it will be different for communities. Okay, so because communities and schools will be bringing in a lot of children. Families, it's just the number of children that you have that you want to participate in this program. And so that will be online as soon as our website is up, bloomerbean.com. And so how to access it will be online as well. We will be putting out a lot of videos. There will be some on YouTube, but the most important place to visit will be the website.
Okay.
So I think there's one thing that I didn't answer. You talked about online access, and there's a second question.
The cost and how to access Bloomer Bean itself.
Yeah. Access will be online. And the cost will also be posted online.
Okay.
We will be able to enter your information, and we will talk about what the cost is at the time.
Okay. Jennifer, are you on any social media platform that people like myself, because I never try searching for you, but this is a perfect opportunity to ask. Are you on any social media platform?
Not with Bloomer Bean yet.
Okay.
It is something that we've been cooking and making ready before we can actually serve. So we will be serving it soon. It's been percolating, getting all the spices, marinating, and so we are just about to roll it out. Yeah.
Okay,
So once it's out, it will be on all social medias, should be. We are going to have a number of videos on YouTube.
Yes.
And that will also be linked on the website.
Yeah. So you yourself, you are not on any social media platform.
I am on social media
Okay.
for my own other personal stuff.
Okay. So not in terms of your creativities. No.
Yeah.
Just
not yet at the moment. I'm so just absorbed with Bloom Bean for now.
You can see.
Putting it all together and then being able to serve when it's ready.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm looking forward, Jennifer. I truly am looking forward. As we wrap up today's episode of the show called One Step, let's talk about the journey. I want to thank Jennifer for sharing her insights on Bloom a Bean and the program itself and how it's making a difference in shaping financial literacy for young minds. It is clear that by connecting something as simple and natural as gardening to financial concepts, we can give kids the tools they need to nurture healthy money habits from a young age. I hope today's conversation has sparked some ideas on how we can all sow the seeds of financial wisdom in the next generation. Remember, just like a garden, financial literacy takes time, it takes patience and care to truly blossom. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, until next time, keep growing, keep learning, and keep blooming your beans. I'm your host, Joel Bennett. See you in the next episode, Jan. I feel like, do you have any final comments before we go? Let me make sure I'm not being too fast here. Any final comments, Jan?
Just to summarize.
Yes.
This is a beautiful concept for your family. You will be able to bond with your children. You'll be able to take care of a plant all the way to fruition. The children will be able to learn a lot of lessons along the way, and that includes teenagers. And for teenagers, you might not even grow the bean if that's not what they want to do. We can give them a metaphorical bean that actually they can draw parallels with their financial journey. It's going to give your children a head start on financial stuff, and they will be happy for you to have enrolled them in this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jen. My name is Joel Bennett. The show is called One Step. We ask that you hit the like, subscribe, and share, so more children, more families can know about this program, this curriculum, this literacy program for children and family that Jennifer and communities that Jennifer has created. Thank you so much. You all take care and bye.
Thank you.